on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of CryptoZombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you are enjoying yourself, enjoying the holidays, and as expected, Bitcoin is not really doing anything, and this is usually what happens right around the Christmas time, right? We do have like the Santa Claus rally occasionally, and then things tend to get flat. Right now, we are in fact going sideways. However, while Bitcoin continues to go sideways, down around 2% on the daily, you're seeing a lot bigger losses in some of these altcoins, XRP specifically. I don't have to go into why. I think we all know what is going on right now. So I do want to discuss the fact that the Bitcoin dominance has broken out of a major critical level. You can see right now we are around almost 69% Bitcoin dominance. So what does this mean for the altcoins? Should you be worried? Is the SEC's ongoing potential lawsuit against Ripple going to have an effect on all of these other altcoins? Well, there actually is something we need to talk about, and that is what the US regulators have said today. They have issued another statement regarding altcoins, specifically stable coins, and we're going to talk about what you need to know about that. But aside from that, it looks like ultimately it is still positive for Bitcoin. I want to look at where Bitcoin is according to some of its most historic charts. We're going to look at the stock to flow. We're going to look at the rainbow chart, and we're going to predict potentially the exact all-time high for Bitcoin. And guess what? It might even be sooner than you think. So if that sounds good to you, you know what to do. If you are not subscribed, definitely consider it. Smash the likes or not, doesn't matter. I enjoy your company either way. So let's dive in and let's have a look at the chart. Now, the one thing you will notice is even though on the horizontal levels, we are still above the center line, we have fallen below this support. It was a short-term support, keep in mind, over here, and you will notice that now it is acting as resistance. So now we do have a little bit more potential selling pressure. We've had multiple attempts to try to get above the $24,000 level. We have got rejected every single time, and traditionally speaking, it does look a bit like a head and shoulders pattern. These are usually reversal patterns. So if you were to look at this breaking down from the neckline, potentially, you could look coming all the way back down to about the high 19,000s, maybe low $20,000 level. I'm not looking for any kind of a major crash for Bitcoin. I don't think that will happen, but there is that potential of that quick retracement, right? It is the holidays. We are going to have the CME futures closing. CME futures had multiple rejections at the top of the ascending channel, broadening wedge. So as I said, once again, there is that potential chance. We do have, the triple, head and shoulders breakdown. And like I said, we're looking at support down here right around that $20,000 level. So big thing that everyone needs to pay attention to, and I talked about this yesterday, is the fact that we broke out of a historic downtrend for Bitcoin dominance. We started this trend back here in March of 2017, and only just recently have we blasted through it. In fact, Bitcoin got all the way up to it got up to about 71% dominance. So this is the highest level that we have seen. We did see us get up to around 73% back in September of 2019 briefly, but we were not able to break above the trend. So this is big news for Bitcoin. And subsequently, you have seen altcoins, total altcoin market, having a double top right here. And we have retested the previous resistance, hopefully acting as support for the altcoins. And once again, getting back to Bitcoin, yes, there is that potential chance we fill down to these levels. So before I talk about what is going on with the altcoins, what should you expect now that we have the SEC coming after Ripple? We have seen a decrease in some of these altcoins, right? A few of them got hit harder than Bitcoin. So what does this mean? We're going to get into that in a second. But first, I want to have a look at how is Bitcoin actually playing out compared to some of these, models that we've looked at. Well, having a look at the stock to flow, if we actually zoom in right here, you could see that Bitcoin actually just recently put in a perfect stock to flow match. We were dipping below it. Some people were haters on it. Some people really don't believe in the stock to flow. And hey, listen, today's not the day for that argument, but you cannot deny that we are back once again on the stock to flow level. And Bitcoin is actually sitting exactly, essentially, at the level that it's supposed to be sitting at right now. Now, keep in mind that this stock to flow model does call for Bitcoin hitting around $288,000 by the end of the run. So let's have a look at the rainbow chart. If we actually compare this to the all-time high, now keep in mind, you notice that you usually hit the highs in between the halvings, right? And generally at the first third of the halving, you can see after the halving right here, Bitcoin hit its $1,200 level, and this was around December. And then we did it again in December again here of the all-time high. So if we were to sort of follow this line out and actually zooming in where we are right now, you'll notice that we're not at the bottom of the rainbow. We're actually somewhere right in the middle. So, for people saying it's too late to buy, well, I mean, it's not as good of a buy if you had bought down here, but it is still lower than halfway towards the all-time high. And keep in mind, this is a logarithmic scale. So looking at about where we would expect Bitcoin to hit that high, we would expect it to be somewhere after the first third to the half. And let's just say the half because, diminishing returns, let's say it takes longer to do these cycles. So if we just simply go to the halfway point, and this is a rough estimate, you're looking at about a $207,000 Bitcoin potentially. And this would be around March 15th of 2022. So that could potentially be the high. We could see it sooner than later, but ultimately you are looking around a $210,000, $220,000 Bitcoin potentially by March of 2022. So let me know if you agree with that. Do you think we're going to go up faster than that? Do you think that we're not going to go up that high? Let me know, guys. I mean, these models are fun, obviously, but anything can happen. Anything can change. But, I gotta give a shout out to my buddy Pomp. He was over on CNBC and, they were asking him about Bitcoin. And, he said, look, you can have your opinion. You can agree. You can disagree. You can say that Bitcoin is a Ponzi. You could say that Bitcoin is the hardest money ever. But at the end, it's really the market that decides. And I think the clear victory has been Bitcoin. But why listen to me talk about it? Let's hear what Pomp has to say.
Nothing I could say could set you up for a response any better than what Kevin O'Leary just said. The floor is yours.
Look, I think that Bitcoin has kind of proven all of the haters wrong, right? We're talking about an asset that is very volatile. But when you put a non-correlated asymmetric asset into a portfolio, it can do all kinds of really beneficial things. And so if we look off the market bottom of December 2018, it's up over 600%. The asset during a global pandemic and economic crisis is up over 200% this year. Gold's up about 25%, S&P's up about 15%. And so I always just say that the market is the referee. And Kevin and I can come on here, we can share our opinions, but ultimately the market's going to decide who's right and who's wrong. I think that the market has rendered a decisive victory for the Bitcoiners this year in saying that in a time of crisis, in a time where people were uncertain, in a time where people were looking for safe haven assets, capital flowed to the hardest money that's ever been created. And I think that Bitcoin is only just getting started. And what we have to understand is it's supply and demand. There is a programmatic supply to this asset. And so we know exactly how much is being created every day. There's 900 Bitcoin per day coming into the incoming supply. There are way more demand than there is supply. And that's where I think you're seeing this price explosion. And the people who are showing up now, the Fidelities, the Guggenheims, right? They're not showing up with $5. They're showing up with hundreds of millions of dollars in demand. And they're buying up all the Bitcoin.
So is Bitcoin just getting started? Well, as Joseph Young tweeted, and this was in a reference to what Simon Kim said, and he's over at Hash, they said they have their official fund, a $120 million crypto-focused venture fund. We're pleased that many of the tech companies and capitals in Asia are finally ready to onboard the crypto world with our network. And Joseph says, I take this as an early sign of what's to come in Asia in the mid to long term. And if we have seen all of this frenzy happening mostly just from USA, imagine what'll happen when Asia actually gets involved. And I know you're saying, well, doesn't China have a problem with Bitcoin? Yes, China does, but you still have a lot of other countries as well. Don't forget, we have seen South Korea go absolutely wild in the past over cryptocurrencies. We've seen that they can actually pump the prices as well. So, sorry guys, my dad just tried calling me on my phone and then he hung up. I don't know what that was all about. Maybe he's asking me what we're doing for Christmas or something like that. But let's get, that was a little sidetracking. I will get back to you, Dad. Should have turned my phone off, but just in case, got to answer if Dad calls. which I'll get back to him in a second. Okay, enough. But talking about, because you guys, there's lots of you watching. We need to continue talking about this. So he just texted and said, no worries, call me back when you get a minute, not important. He knows I record in the morning. So, okay, apart from XRP, right? So we have had this issue that happened with XRP, and it has affected the altcoins, undoubtedly. You know, some people are worried. Now they're saying, well, if XRP is a security, and that's the number 3 crypto, is my crypto a security, right? And we have seen some of these big XRP whales start dumping. Now, apart from it, you've seen Chainlink, Cardano have fell. Link is down 17%. I think it's up a little bit today, but at the time of, you know, this article coming out, Cardano was down 11%. You had Band Protocol 17, Algorand 15, Yearn 15, Zcash 15, EOS 14, Neo 14, Dogecoin 13, just to name a few. So what is happening right now? Well, what is going on right now is a number of minor cryptocurrency exchanges have started to actually remove XRP from their platforms, right? I had a list of which ones they were in here. I think BXC was one of them. A few of them, right? But now people are starting to get worried is what happens if a big exchange decides to delist XRP, right? You had Francis Coppola. He's a financial analyst and commentator who has publicly criticized the company and the XRP token, saying, I think it's the beginning of the end. Investors are already dumping XRP as quickly as they can, right? So, oh, here they are right here. The smaller exchanges are OSL, BXC, and Crosstower have temporarily suspended XRP trading or removed it entirely. In a further blow, Bitwise Asset Management has liquidated its XRP position. Meanwhile, and this is the scary part, you had a spokesperson for the US-based Coinbase that boasts 40 million users around the world and is gearing up for a mammoth IPO, said it is currently considering its options. Now, that does sound quite vague, but could they be looking to delist XRP as well? Now, I'm not going to make any assumptions. I'm not spreading any FUD. I'm just letting you know what these guys are saying. But Coppola, whatever his name is, he goes on to say any exchange that allows trading in XRP is potentially breaking the law, so exchanges are bound to delist, adding that the SEC has a very well put together case, although couching that the wheels on the law grind very slowly, so XRP isn't going to disappear yet. Now, looking at some of the companies dealing with XRP. For example, you have top-tier Ripple partner in Japan, SBI Group. They're apparently not too worried. They publicly shared their view on the situation, and they believe that the impact on the company's business will be minor. The overall investment volume of SBI and Ripple is around 8.7%. 90% of Ripple's customers are based outside the U.S. The release stated besides 80% of the volume of financial transactions conducted by Ripple is also done outside of the U.S. Based on this and several other criteria, SBI does not expect to see heavy consequences from its business stemming from the current issue between Ripple and the U.S. regulator. But then on the flip side, you have global money transfer service MoneyGram clarifying their nature and collaboration with Ripple, saying, as a reminder, MoneyGram does not utilize the ODL platform or RippleNet for direct transfers of consumer funds, digital or otherwise. Furthermore, MoneyGram is not a party to the SEC action. MoneyGram has continued to utilize its other traditional FX trading counterparties through the terms of the agreement with Ripple, and it is not dependent on the Ripple platform to accomplish its FX trading needs. So this is the situation right here. Take it with a grain of salt. They could just end up getting slapped with a fine. It might not be a big deal, but nevertheless, it has shook up the markets. You have seen some losses across the board, right? Surprisingly, one coin that's actually maintained its price quite well is Polkadot. Now, you guys know Polkadot. I am extremely bullish on this project. I told you guys, I do believe that Polkadot is forming this sort of consolidation pattern. We are looking for a massive breakout for Polkadot either at the end of this year or the beginning of next year. The opportunity to accumulate between the levels of $3.50 and not even $7, really $6 has been absolutely incredible. And I do believe that once this thing breaks out, it's probably not ever coming back to these levels again. But that's just my opinion, guys. You know, don't buy it because I like it, but I have bought every single Polkadot dip pretty much since Polkadot has come out because I do think Polkadot has a massive 2021 coming up ahead. But here's the thing, Polkadot, right? Securities. Could this get hit with the same situation? It could, guys. Anything could happen in the space. But here is what is going on. So today, the U.S. country's national regulators issued a major statement regarding how they foresee the future of stablecoins. Stablecoins are still altcoins, technically, right? And spoiler alert, the landscape looks heavily regulated. So they did have this document. It was only about 4 sheets, but it is quite broad content-wise, touching on points that range from the technical aspect to the international geopolitics of the situation, although it does assure that stablecoins have the potential to dynamize payments. It emphasizes the concerns about the little control that the government have over this form of money. The task force was firm about the need to step up the regulatory policies, very much in line with Rashida Tlaib's proposal to require banking licenses for stablecoin issues. So, in a nutshell, the logic here seems to be that the U.S. does not expect to differentiate stablecoins from other traditional centralized or non-centralized products. So the thing is they could come out and say, we approve using USDC. We don't approve using USDT Tether. So anyone caught using Tether in the US, if you're using it and you're sending it to, a verified US wallet, you could be potentially breaking the law. This is crazy, guys. On the other hand, there's also the possibility that the stablecoins are considered securities, which would make them very difficult to trade in the most popular crypto exchanges. This could have serious consequences considering that Tether is one of the most traded coins in the industry along with BTC. So at the end of the day, good for Bitcoin, but altcoins, I think we can safely say regulation is coming. But let's end on some brighter news and then let's get on out of here. So, being from New York, this is pretty cool for me. Former Democratic presidential candidate Andrew Yang has filed paperwork to participate in the 2021 mayor races. So this is awesome, guys. Definitely, pretty cool. He's been a supporter of cryptocurrencies in the past. And pretty cool if you're in New York. That is some good news. But guys, I actually don't think I'm going to be able to make a video tomorrow because I do have to go to my family's house. I'm going to have to make a drive early in the morning. So most likely, unfortunately, I wanted to do a Christmas Day video, but I just don't think I'm going to be able to. Unless I record it from my parents' guest room. I don't know, that's a possibility, but that's probably not going to happen. So if I don't see you guys, have an awesome holidays. If you are celebrating Christmas, be safe out there. Don't worry about the charts. The charts don't really tend to do anything interesting, during this time. They tend to just go sideways. Sometimes they even dump on Christmas. I've seen Christmas dumps. But at the end of the day, guys, it is looking great for Bitcoin. We are right on track, stock to flow. We are right on track on the rainbow targets. And I'm not too worried about the altcoins today being in the red. Look, some of them are already starting to recover. Look at that. Look at my boy Polkadot. Look at my boy Polkadot in the green today. So, guys, so that is it for me today. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. You're the reason that I do this every single day, probably not on Christmas, but enjoy your holidays. Enjoy the New Year's, which I'll be making videos until then. I love you guys. You're awesome. Be safe. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. My name's K-Dub. This is CryptoZombie. Until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.